doesn't the fact that there have been no whistleblowers any more than like Bob Lazar, Elizondo, there hasn't been more because you got it. But no, but you know,
pilots.
But I'm like worked on it though. Like you had your hands on it, so you know, like all these people at the secret bases, right, who are looking at this stuff. None of them are going to come out.
This is an emergency broadcast. This is not a test.
Welcome everybody to the Dad's Doomsday Guide. Today, Tim is joining us on the podcast to talk about something that's kind of interesting that happened to me today, and it actually came through yesterday. I got a video suspension alert on TikTok, and I was like, what the hell? I didn't notice this, and it was like from 10 hours ago, and so I went and I looked to see which video it was, and it was kind of hard to find, but I ended up snapping some pictures of it, and it was regarding a UFO video. It got suspended for hateful behavior. And I was like, what the hell? Like this guy was anything but hateful. It was very benign. And it was very interesting to talk about UFOs and like government cover up and all this other stuff. So I went and I looked at their, what the video clip was, and I listened to it again. And it was all about private companies having UFO crash material in their possession and not having to report it because it's outside the circle of government or the FISA or FISA, right? FISA, yeah, Freedom of Information Act, and I appealed it. I was really shocked that got suspended. And I know you had sent me some other stuff the other day regarding another thing about UFOs, and one of the clips got an interesting one got suspended or removed because of something else. But I don't know. I don't think it's a conspiracy, and I don't think because otherwise everything would be swiped off like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. But TikTok is odd in the sense of what's disappearing. And I don't know what that is or what's causing it, or if someone is personally reporting that as hateful behavior, like, because that was bullshit. Like there was nothing hateful in there at all.
It's one or two things. It's either they screwed up and it's a glitch and some software they're using to flag all that stuff, which I think is not true, or it's someone taking that off because it is true and there are UFOs being hidden somewhere in private companies. And yes, I prefer to believe the other. I could be wrong, but that's
you think it's a conspiracy and they're purposely removing stuff?
Not a conspiracy. They're just taking it off because it's true.
Well, who though?
They're making it, it's hateful. I'm not sure how that's hateful.
Like China? There's a Chinese-owned company. That's another worry about TikTok is I think they're going to, there's more talks about banning it, but they're
spying on everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like anything digital is up for fair game, but I thought the UFO thing was interesting because out of all my videos, out of all the opinions, everything everybody said,
that was super chill.
That was like the most chill. And I don't know. I think somebody reported it as hateful behavior, and then probably it was flagged by the algorithm.
Someone that probably some government agent spying on.
That's what I was thinking.
They're saying the truth. Get them out. You know,
they just go through and like if that annoys them, they'll just stir shit. I'm gonna do this to get it blocked and like cause problems. You know, it could be anybody. Like I have a hard time thinking.
It really doesn't make sense to take that video off, that specific video. Too bad you didn't have a clip to play it right now.
Oh, I do. I could play it. I'll play it right now.
Aerospace corporations that have had contracts and subcontracts with the military and the intelligence arms of government that have been involved in the UFO phenomenon. And more recently, we've had evidence that there are some unnamed aerospace corporations that might have alleged metal residue relating to UFO crashes, UFO sightings, etc. And that we're finally getting a peek at the extent to which there are these interconnections. And because the contractors and subcontractors in the civilian sector aren't subject to the Freedom of Information Act, or even to much of the oversight by Congress, that this is a realm of data and information which mostly remains undisclosed.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. They took that off.
I don't get it. The dude is like so chill too, and he was so like well thought out, articulate.
I like the blue tint he had on his glasses when it was the reflection of the computer screen.
Was a computer? Was that it? I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, it looked more sci-fi.
So I don't know. I think they'll probably reverse it because it's literally nothing hateful in there. It got me suspicious for a second, but then it took in more. I started thinking more about if we're going to ban it. And then we've built up quite the following there on TikTok. And I just don't, it would kind of suck if it got wiped out because there's a lot of people who kind of ingest the content of the podcast on there.
There's going to be something else made other than that. I don't know why a US company can't make something like TikTok and just keep it here.
Well, the problem I've noticed with like Instagram and everything else is that their algorithms, they work differently, but it's just impossible to get eyeballs on your stuff unless you're like throwing a lot of money at stuff, because through where I work and different things, it's like there's advertising and spending done a lot for videos and like campaigns and teams who do all this stuff. And with TikTok, what's so nice is like you have anything interesting or like provocative, or you could put it out there and it's awesome.
It's so fast, like everything's easy to view and it's quick for the most part.
There's a headline from a few days ago that NASA is going full force to gear up for UFO study. They said this is really important to us and we're placing a high priority on it. I don't know.
It's true.
I was reading through it though, and it's just like, depends on what you listen to.
No, it's true, dude. There's too much right now. Did you listen to Corbell and Rogan too?
I did, but
that was good. But that's already kind of stuff I knew.
He got into a couple things that were interesting. He got into us firing upon the UFOs in active war zones, and what was interesting about that was that he said Russia and Syria have also been seen firing at these things in those same areas. So whose the hell are they then? Because we're always like, oh, there's somebody else's country. I still think, I don't know, because my next question would have been from Rogan is like, did they shoot any down and what'd they find? Because like they never got into like that. Well,
they're not going to tell you that.
Maybe somebody said something to him where he could be like, yeah, they've shot him down and they've recovered stuff. At least like just give a vague general.
He did say that. He said he's 100% sure that the government has crash retrieval or whatever. But you're not going to know for sure until they come out and say, hey, guess what we do? Look, this is when we caught it. But there's enough evidence out there, I think, to where it shows that it is there. I think. But until I see it, obviously, I'm not going to believe it 100% until I see something where they're like NASA or someone admits, yes, we're being visited, and then everyone's going to freak out. The economy's going to collapse. If they said, hey, we're being visited by aliens from another dimension or whatever it is, and they actually have been taking you guys once in a while, probing you and doing whatever they want, I think everyone would freak out. Most people would be like, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to quit my job.
I don't think they would tell anybody. I think they may.
I don't think they would leave out the abduction part.
Yeah, because they were like, yeah, hey, we do, this is like, hey, this could happen to you. And that's a whole nother threat level on top of life that people aren't ready for. Yeah, then people would lose their shit. But I don't think the NASA thing to me is BS, because I think another big government agency isn't going to do anything. And I think anything they find isn't going to do anything. And I think it's a bunch of horse shit. So I'm not really holding my breath here for any new information to come out through any kind of study that's done like this. I think it has to be a whistleblower.
I don't know. We'll find out, right? I mean, why would they be posting these articles if it wasn't some truth to it?
Because they run psyops campaigns and they fuck with your
that's
mind.
Too much work. They just could ignore it and it would go away. They don't need to make articles saying, hey, we're going to look into it. All it does is feed into more. They could just be like, nah.
I mean, I think it'd be more plausible, to ignore it if there was nothing to it. Yeah.
Totally. What waste of everybody's time to do all this if it wasn't somewhat true,
For the UFO stuff, though, like I said, I quickly got back into it and now I'm out of it again because I started reading Twitter a little bit, and I saw, actually, before we started talking, a couple people were arguing more about Lou Elizondo and people.
I don't pay attention to Twitter at all.
God, it's such a waste of time.
There's certain people I follow, and then I'll Google the articles, but I won't look on Twitter. You just have a bunch of whack jobs on there.
Well, it's just, even the people who are somewhat mainstreamish on there and aren't like crazy, conspiracy stuff really. It's just petty fighting all the time. And
they're dumb.
Lost the plot.
They're not smart people. That's why.
Lost the plot.
Like Louis Lana, the guy, just leave him alone. I don't know why they're attacking. They just want to attack people. They're a bunch of goofballs. So.
Well, I think he's done some stuff, and I don't know how true it is. Like he's like shooting back at him and different things. So it's probably just an argument.
He's legit. He doesn't really play that game either. So
to be honest, I question all the people who have History Channel shows or whatever. Like if you've had that,
hey, it's one way. No, that's a good way to get out. I would.
I don't know. The History Channel.
And no, they're good. They have good stuff. And
BS, Bigfoot and all that shit.
No, they actually have maybe that's
Discovery.
There's a guy, he works at Skinwalker Ranch. He's a physicist. He's pretty smart.
I know, but they're all like they're smart people, don't get me wrong, but they all can have things in their past where they cast down on them a little bit. Like, hey, this person's like paranormal. They try to like knock them down a level or two.
Anybody can do that though. And anybody.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's right.
Anybody can do that.
A lot of them are doing that.
Usually when someone's on Rogan talking about it, that's usually pretty legit.
A lot of it was just regurgitation of stuff I already know. It wasn't anything new.
But I like the part where it talked about this, was it the cubes with spheres inside, right? Or was it circles with, is it vice versa?
It's a circle inside a cube, or is it?
I think so. I think so. He talked about, and I saw the article but that he was talking about back in the 60s too.
Oh, yeah, they referenced the Foo Fighters, and I knew about that too. They're following lights, following the World War II.
No, the same thing with the cubes and the spheres.
The Foo Fighters were?
Yeah. Somebody whatever it was.
That's strange.
Super weird.
That's where I'm like, nah, that could be something. Today, I feel like it's so convoluted in terms of drones, which I guarantee you some of it is, and then maybe some really weird stuff. Back then, it was just, there wasn't drones then.
Yeah, but we're not talking about drones. We're talking about these weird ass things that are showing up 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, that long ago.
That's what we're talking about.
You can't dismiss that. Nowadays, if a drug runner wanted to disguise it as something weird shaped, a drone, so they could get by, you could maybe do that.
Did you see the photo? Was it Britain?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. Yeah. So what was the deal with that? Is that legit from like a government outlet, or is that
supposed to be?
So now they're calling into question who released it and why they released it, because I know there's a big thing about it was kept secret. Why all of a sudden is it let out? I think that was the big criticism. Like, what's the deal here? This was supposed to be because it was Pope, right? The guy who does some of the UFO stuff from Britain. He's like saying he saw the photo. An artist did a drawing of it that was really close, but they've never let it out. And then suddenly they let it out. So why did they let it out?
Someone had it. It was an older, I think he was, hold on.
I should put a picture of it up.
It's taken 30 years ago by hikers in Scottish Highlands.
If that's real, that's mind boggling. Like, that's what everybody wants to see right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you took some.
Well, dude, there it is. And this Pope basically created a reproduction of that in his mind because he saw the photo.
In the photo, one of a series of 6, the hikers reportedly took a diamond-shaped object can be seen flying in the sky, while a fighter jet can be spotted in the background not too far from it.
So something is going on. What that something is, I don't know. But something is definitely going on.
So this guy was holding on to the last original image. I have to read this because I kind of,
I read it. Like I said, he got hunted down basically and found by this one, I believe, an investigator, and he had the photo the whole time and just waited. And he's 89 or 90 years old, and he was like, "Screw it, I think I'm good at releasing this now." So.
Says the negatives have never been seen since they reached the Ministry of Defense. Now the Ministry of Defense say they returned them to the Daily Record, but the Daily Record say they never received them. And they have no idea what happened to them. So there's lots of questions to be answered. And they don't know what happened to the men who took the photo. Interesting.
Slowly but surely, stuff is going to start getting leaked out. Better and better things before they're just going to be like, okay, fine. Guess what? We've been hiding a bunch of shit for like 100 years. We've been visited.
So it was 32 years ago. What year was that? That wasn't that long ago.
They're reverse engineering. I think we've probably been trying to mess with some of this stuff.
When was Bob Lazar supposed to be at that S4 thing? That was that long ago?
The 80s, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who knows again if this is somebody
89.
If this is somebody testing it, that we have it, we're testing it, or if it's an actual alien entity inside the thing. There's too many questions, man. It's cool.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's cool.
It is, but that's intriguing. The photo's intriguing, unless someone can come out and say, it's a lie or something. But I don't think anybody will. It seems like
It's not.
It's just a matter of what is it would be the question. And I don't think
definitely not normal looking.
No, it's very, very interesting.
And that's 30 years ago, and that thing's flying around like that. What?
I just don't buy into the efforts to disclosure, and then there's an effort to stop it, and like there's this war within the government, and it's like,
of course, there's an effort to stop it. Of course, there's an effort to stop it.
I think for panic and control, that would be the reason not to do it.
And you don't want anybody to know that you have that technology at all.
I do find the argument that they're just allowing this to keep festering. This whole conspiracy is just easier to let them have fun and to hide stuff that they want to do. I feel like it's more of a pain in the ass.
We don't have that big of stuff to hide.
I think it was more of a hassle at this point for them to do that. So that's where I start
yeah.
believing it's true, because like, why would you go through all these shenanigans and keep having that? Well, you just come out and say, hey guys, it's not it. Let it go. It's not it.
Well, it is. I mean, all this stuff's adding up to what, Bob Lazar saw, and then he hasn't changed the story. And then all these things are coming out, and they're all kind of on lines of what he said he worked on. So it's really weird that it's all tying together like that.
Yeah. Like Corbell said, it's like the totality of the evidence. It's not like one thing you can point to and go, hey, this proves it's happening. It's everything together where it's like, yeah, it's probably, there's something to this. Yeah. It's not just.
It's because of the amount of years that it's been happening. It's not like, oh, it's been 2 years. It's been like, what, 60, 70?
Yeah. If this started like in, 2000s or 1990s when there's drone technology and that's the first you ever saw of it, then it'd be like, yeah, it's probably something. But this, it's World War II. It's pre-World War II. It's an ancient art. It's in biblical references that a lot of people like to talk about. So it's like, this isn't new. And you can't just chalk it up to, oh, people saw asteroids and they wanted, they attributed it to gods and stuff. No. It's like, no, you can't keep doing that. There's too many things. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. For them all to be false, I don't buy that. But like I said, I fluctuate with this thing. I don't always believe it. And sometimes I get tired of listening to it because
I don't disbelieve it at all.
Me neither, I guess. I just get frustrated with the whole process. And I don't think everybody who's acting hopeful about this government crap, I think you're deluding yourself.
Dude,
they're
for
not
as
telling
long as it's been going on, do you think they're just going to come out and be like, yep, sure.
That's why I don't think you're ever going to know. You're never going to know.
You will, because people are going to start leaking this stuff out. Like a lot of people a lot of people know. Not everyone's going to keep a secret forever, especially when cameras are getting better. It's being easier to catch this stuff. You have now private scientists. You have
our
scientists
contractors
with I guess with funding from other people trying to investigate it.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything's getting better and more sophisticated with technology to find these things. So I think it's going to be harder and harder to keep it wrapped. Dude, it's easy back in the 40s and 50s, 60s. You do that Project Blue Book and guys, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah, you can stifle information much easier.
But then even he was like, this is real.
Oh, the guy who ran it.
Yeah. Was it Hynek?
Something like that. Yeah. He switched his opinion on it and was like, hey, there's something here.
Dude. And then that one other psychologist, even further back.
Oh yeah.
50s.
Blew his brains out after because he was
and he said this is 100% true. These people have been abducted. Yeah. So there's something going on.
Doesn't the fact that there have been no whistleblowers any more than like Bob Lazar, Elizondo, there hasn't been more. Because you got it,
pilots.
But I'm like worked on it though. Like you had your hands on it, so like all these people at the secret bases, right, who are looking at this stuff. None of them are going to come out. Like it's kind of
they probably killed him.
No, I just don't.
Dude, look what happened to Lazar. They made him appear like he's a loony bird.
That's a knock against UFO though for me. That's
not
like
really,
why isn't there more?
They try to erase his past, say he didn't go to school. Would you want to deal with all that bullshit? I don't know if I would.
Well, there's part too, if I'm being fair, like if you were working on that stuff, like,
I don't know if I would.
Lazar said he was like, part of me is angry that I just didn't do the work because it was so cool. Like I shut up and just do the cool stuff.
I mean, if someone let you in and gave you clearances and said, hey, this is real.
Yeah, you'd feel super important.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd talk about it. I don't know if I would.
I'd be like, this is cool. I'm walking around. I know you guys don't know. I'm so special.
Yeah, at least you know. And but to go out and tell the world and then have your life practically destroyed and be spied on.
You know how much of a hero you'd be though if you came out and you're the one that like proved aliens? You'd be like, dude, this guy just told us the truth at thousands of years.
You'd be either killed or
I don't think they kill
you appear like you're a loony bird.
That I think they could do.
Not that easy.
That's the problem, I think, is getting your hands on any kind of solid evidence. Mm-hmm. Like, how are you going to smuggle it out? And then, you didn't have protections before. You're smuggling really classified stuff out. You're probably going to go to prison for life. So yeah, now maybe with the whistleblower stuff, but I don't know, dude. Politicians are so
also,
full of shit.
He was saying too, there's a NDA. What is it? A loophole where the Congress is saying you can come tell us. Doesn't matter if you have an NDA or not.
Oh, well, that wasn't that part
That's what Corbell was saying, that they're just starting. So we'll see what happens with that. That's super interesting.
Wasn't that part of the whistleblower language that they're putting in there now? They're trying to get people to come out.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but if nobody comes out, isn't that more evidence that maybe it's not?
I'm not going to play that game. Oh, maybe we'll see what happens.
Good chat. We'll see if they reinstate the video. And everybody, check us out. YouTube, TikTok, all the good places to see our content. And catch you next time.